Today we read from Matthew's Gospel regarding the birth of Jesus and the coming of the Magi. The chronology is a little skewed, and the overall story is in contradiction with the one in Luke. In Matthew, Joseph is not just from a family with roots in Bethlehem, as in Luke, but rather is himself from Bethlehem, and only heads north to Nazareth in Galilee once Herod the Great dies. And we do not have this story of the miraculous birth of Jesus with angels and shepherds that Luke includes. Rather, when Jesus is born, a star, a sign from the heavens was seen as heralding momentous births throughout the ancient world, appeared in the sky. And it moved not with the movement of the moon around the earth or the earth around the sun, but of its own accord from some location in the east to Bethlehem. And then we have these magi. Now, it is not at all clear who these figures were meant to be. The title would imply priests of a religion based in modern day Turkey. Their practice of astrology implies that they are from Iraq. References to the east imply that they are from the Arabian Peninsula, and allusions to the land of Sheba imply that they are from Ethiopia. Often, our nativity sets today solve these inconsistencies by including 3 or 4 figures of different ethnicities. It is unclear if Matthew was simply confused in his geography, if the story he heard regarding Jesus' birth included these confusing details, or if Matthew was trying to make a point regarding Jesus' birth and what it represented. But setting aside where these confusing details come from, we see in the Magi the coming of the empires and the pagan religions that had been traditional rivals to Israel, coming to offer homage to Jesus. And because we hear later in the Gospel of Matthew that Herod ordered the massacre of all boys 2 years of age and younger in and around Bethlehem, this coming is traditionally seen as taking 2 years to reach fulfillment. And given that they may have come from different lands, this prolonged chronology sort of makes sense. So in the coming of the Magi, the God of Israel in the person of Jesus becomes the God of the nations. But at the same time, while Jesus comes to save all of humanity, several details allude to the lives of Abraham and Moses. And so Matthew also makes the claim indirectly that Jesus is the new bringer of the law and the new father of the people. God has a special relationship with the Jewish people, but also through Jesus, a new, wider relationship being offered to all the peoples of the earth. Jesus has come to be king and God, a reality that is acknowledged in the first 2 gifts of the Magi, gold and frankincense. But Jesus has also come to suffer the travails of a human life and ultimately to die, a reality that is alluded to in the 3rd gift of myrrh, a bitter herb that was used as a painkiller and embalming fluid. So, in the midst of the celebration of the coming of the nations together under the reign of the one God and King, we also have the inevitable mourning of the death of Jesus. For those of us who have lost loved ones or are each day hearing statistics of rising COVID rates and of friends and family members testing positive, this strange mix of emotions, of joy and sorrow, celebration and mourning, can seem more familiar than the pure joy and celebration expressed in Luke. And for this, I am thankful that we read from Matthew 2 during this Christmas time. Amen.